Welcome to Good Dog TV, bringing you the latest dog news and entertainment from the American Kennel Club. I'm Marissa Sarback. Thank you for joining us. My co-host today is Gus, a 6-year-old Labrador Retriever, and isn't he cute? Now today's show is about dogs who heal, and Gus here could really be considered a dog who heals. Gus is Tom Panek's guiding eye dog, who really goes the extra mile. Tom's joining us now. Thank you for joining us, Tom.
Thank you.
Now Gus is also your long-distance running partner, right?
Yes, he is. Gus is trained to run.
How long have you guys been running together?
We've been running together for 3 years now.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about Gus and where you guys met.
Well, Gus is a Guiding Eyes dog. He was formerly trained by Guiding Eyes for the Blind out of Yorktown Heights, New York. And he was originally trained as my guide dog. I'm visually impaired and I'm not able to navigate safely without him. We then went through the Guiding Eyes running guide program, which taught Gus to guide me safely while running.
And this is an organization where you got Gus that you're actually the CEO of, right?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm the president and CEO of the organization. We provide guide dogs to people who are visually impaired and blind at no cost.
And so tell us a little bit about, because this Saturday is actually National Blind Sports Day, a day that's celebrating sports for visually impaired and opportunities for those people.
Yes.
Can you tell us the idea behind this and how you're involved?
Yes, so National Blind Sports Day is a day where we stop to recognize that people who are blind can participate in health and wellness activities just like anyone else. And we encourage anyone who knows someone who's blind to get out there with them on Saturday to enjoy some type of activity outside related to sports with that blind friend or family member. The United States Association of Blind Athletes and Guiding Eyes for the Blind have partnered to really launch awareness that people who are blind can participate in sports too.
And your organization provides a lot for those athletes who do want to get involved by providing them with these guide dogs, right?
Absolutely. Having a guide dog is really essential to mobility, but also with our running guides program, we're the first program in the world that's trained guide dogs to run with their blind partners.
And this is something that means a lot to you, right, Tom?
Well, it personally means a whole lot to me. I'm a person who's blind, I'm a runner, and I always had to rely on human guides, volunteers who were kind enough to tether to me to get me through races in the past.
And when did you find out that you were going blind?
In my 20s, I started to notice that my peripheral vision was disappearing and eventually that I would go blind.
And were you a runner before that?
I was a runner. I loved to bike. I loved to play baseball. I loved sports. But unfortunately, as I lost my vision, I stopped doing all of those things, Marissa. And it's very difficult to navigate, let alone participate in a running activity when you lose your vision.
And what was it that got you inspired to get running again?
Well, when I stopped running, one of the things that inspired me to go back and to get out there was I had friends who told me not to feel sorry for myself, but just to get out there and compete. And they said, you can run just as well as your sighted peers. So that's where sighted guides come in. And people volunteered to come out and get me out of bed in the morning and say, let's go for a run, we're gonna do this. So I really had inspiration from people. And over time, having a guide dog at my side has really helped me with my mobility. And so putting the fact that I had to leave the dog behind in the morning when I went running just made no sense to me because dogs love to run too. So putting those two pieces together has also inspired me to continue to participate in running events.
And you're planning on running in the New York Marathon coming up, right?
So this will be a first. I have run New York Marathon with human guides before. And I will plan on running with human guides, but we're about to announce a very exciting participation in next year's marathon guided by running guides. It'll be the first time that's ever been done.
And what's the difference between running with a human guide versus a canine guide?
Well, fundamentally, both the human guide and the canine guide are performing the same task. They are helping the individual who is blind like me navigate safely through the race course, whether it's turn to the left or to the right, or there's an elevation change. I can feel that through his harness. We have a specially designed harness that allows my arm to move, but yet feel his pull. Same thing with the tether with a human. if you hold a tether here, Marissa, and you're guiding me through a race, you will pull me to the left or right. So the concept is the same. It's just there's a lot more independence with the dog because you're not relying on another human being in order to get you through the race.
Okay. And are there any kind of safety concerns you have with a dog running in the race?
Well, we are very cautious to make sure that the dogs that we do select to run love to run. They have their vet check both before and during the race, just like we have a hydration stop as a runner. We limit the distance that they run to about 10 kilometers each, and we let the dog set the pace. So those are the essential safety concerns that we have. In terms of being safe about navigating around other runners, we've done several races so far, 5Ks, the New York 5-mile race through Central Park, just to make sure that the proof of concept was sound. And in fact, we have so far been able to navigate safely through all of those courses without a hitch.
What's been the reaction from other runners who are running next to you and see a dog coming up next to them and they don't expect that?
I think we've had a mixed reaction. On one hand, you always want to try to catch up with the human in front of you. I found dog lovers try to keep up with us, say, I'm not going to let that dog beat me. And other people are just so excited and inspired about seeing what the dogs can do. Dogs are such capable creatures. We see service dogs having such capacity to help a person perform a task. If a person has a disability, to be able to perform that functional task. And we see service dogs doing more and more in our society. So seeing a dog run, I think, puts smiles on people's faces, or at least that's what they tell me, because I can't see them smile. But,
I'm sure they are. They bring a
yeah.
smile to everybody's face.
Yeah.
They really do. What is the training process for you to get a dog through this, to be able to be this kind of partner for you?
So Guiding Eyes for the Blind has about 1,000 active working guide dogs. We have around 170 new guide dogs that we graduate every year, and we look for the dogs that love to run. Once we identify the dogs that like to run, just like humans, we have to get conditioned to running a little bit of distance. So we start with very short training routes, and then we work our way up to the distance. Again, the dog sets the pace. And once we identify those dogs that love to run, we train them to navigate around obstacles, tree limbs, to go around a pole, for example, but doing it at a faster pace. It's the difference between, for example, you learning to drive a car on residential streets and then getting on the highway. This is the highway for a guide dog. They're working at a very fast pace.
So the marathon would be the highway.
The marathon would be the highway.
Okay.
Exactly.
And this is probably really exciting to finally see this coming so close.
I'm absolutely thrilled. Again, it'll be the first program of its kind and the first time that a person has completed a marathon. But really, it's about getting more dogs into people's hands who need them. So the dogs that will guide me through the marathon will then be paired with a visually impaired athlete out there, and that'll be their running guide. So it's a very exciting opportunity to have dogs like Gus here help another person who's blind, another athlete who's blind, and also be their day-to-day guide dog.
And so without Gus, I mean, the things that you do every day and running, would they not be possible?
Without Gus, I would not be able to go to work, get through the city, be able to run, and take my children to the bus stop. He is an essential part of my life. He's really a life partner. And Guiding Eyes for the Blind provides such independence and mobility, safety, and companionship for an individual who's blind. So now we're taking it to that next level.
And so to run in the marathons, you said there are going to be 4 dogs, is that correct?
So every 10K, because that's what we have set as the limit for our guide dogs to be comfortably setting the pace, we'll have switch-off points. So just like you might stop for water every 3 miles, we will have a new dog come into the race every 3 miles. Absolutely.
All right. And where is Gus going to be when you cross that finish line for the New York Marathon?
Well, you know, I just made an error. It's actually every 6 miles. I wasn't doing my math correctly.
That's okay.
So, Gus will hopefully be, depending how he's feeling that day, the dog that finishes the race with me. So I'll pick him up at mile 20, and get across that finish line. I think he deserves that, given how much he served me over the past few years.
And what do you think that feeling's going to be like?
Well, I think it's going to be incredible, but it's going to be emotional, first of all, to be able to cross that line with a dog guided. I think it's going to be exciting, and it's really going to be our opportunity as Guiding Eyes for the Blind to get the word out that people who are blind can accomplish anything when you put your mind to it.
All righty. Thank you so much for your time, Tom.
You're welcome, Marissa. Thank you.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you so much.
Alrighty, turning now, we visit Houston Methodist Hospital, where a team of volunteers take their therapy dogs to brighten the day of some dog-loving patients. Now, little do the patients know, the dogs are helping the healing process. Take a look.
It's Friday at Houston Methodist Hospital, and that can only mean one thing. The furry therapists of Faithful Paws are making their weekly visit.
We're here every Friday from about 1 until 3:30. The dogs enjoy going to work. They look forward to it. Ruby starts to whine just like she does when she's running competition.
They meet in the occupational therapy wing, where Charlotte gives them their assignments for the day.
On our list today, we have about 5 patients that are very excited to see the dogs.
Each dog in our team, and it's a fantastic team, they have a unique set of gifts that they offer the patients. It may be exercising with the patient, it may be just be sitting and being quiet and being loved by a patient.
Hello.
Hi. Come on,
She's-
pretty dog. Come on, pretty dog.
This is her place when she knows that people just need someone to be calm and be present with them. We've been on some visits where someone has had an artificial heart or something and she hears it and she'll just go lay on their chest or something.
Pretty, yes, pretty dog, yes.
There was a gentleman in the psychiatric unit that we went into, and we first came in, he had a towel over his head and he was just keeping to himself. And Chula went up to him and kind of stuck her head up under the blanket and interacted with him. And then on our third visit there, when he saw Chula, he brought his wife over and introduced her to Chula. So we got to see him, you know, coming around.
These dogs can turn impossibly hard physical therapy into playtime.
Doctors would even write prescriptions and say maybe a stroke patient that had a frozen side could learn to throw a ball or a toy from their frozen side. And he'd say, I went 10 times with a good arm and 3 times with a bad arm. One particular lady was here and she had decided not to eat. She was in a car accident and her husband was killed in a car accident and she wasn't going to eat. I asked her if she wanted to throw the ball for the dog and she took the ball and she said, I don't want to play with your dog. And she threw the ball at the dog. And the dog picked it up and brought it back and put it in her lap. Within 10 minutes, she was throwing the ball down the hall. One of the brilliant nurses handed her a hamburger and she started eating. It was the first time in 3 days that she had had any food to eat and started eating, and she was able to go home from the hospital at the end of the week. It was a blessing.
And if the soul is wounded, dogs can heal that too.
Jax is 5.5, and he's been with me for 3 years. Actually, yesterday was his gotcha day. I got him at the AKC show. They had rescued him from the Montgomery County Animal Control, where he had been turned in when he was 2 years old, in terrible, terrible physical shape, malnourished, and unsocialized. I actually got Jax for my husband who had Alzheimer's, and I thought that Jax and he might be a really good pair. My husband had been a lifelong dog owner and lover. It was actually a little too late in the process of the disease for him. My husband died 2 months ago. So Jax has actually turned out to be my therapy dog. Jax has been with me through it all.
Okay. Yeah. Good job. Very nice. Good. Can you spin? Good. Can you spin the other way? Good job. Sit. Good job.
Around these parts, therapy dogs are celebrities.
She's the youngest one, so she has a lot of energy, as you can see. There, good girl.
I've been looking at your picture for a week or more. Yeah.
I hope every day. I see maybe 1 time a week is not enough.
Good job. Good job.
Dogs are wonderful, you know, and they do bring joy.
You know, emotionally, it's very hard being in here at the hospital, so it's a spark of joy, really.
When the patients are asked what they enjoyed most about their stay here was looking forward to the dogs. They say that time and time again. It's fascinating. They remember the dogs' names. Nobody knows our names. We're not important.
Not important? We don't believe that for a second.
Aw, that just goes to show that dogs can bring happiness to any situation. Well, hey, did you know that human blood pressure goes down when you're petting a dog? Yeah, and so does the dog's blood pressure too. Pretty cool stuff. Time now for our dog news, and in keeping with our theme in dogs that help heal us, the American Kennel Club announces the AKC Fit Dog program. Now, this program offers dog owners who walk a total of 150 minutes a week with their dog a car magnet featuring the AKC Fit Dog logo. Participating in this program is a win-win for dogs and their owners. Walking, of course, contributes to good health and well-being for both dogs and people. Veterinarians and physicians both agree on that one. So get out there, have some fun, and go walking. For more information, visit akc.org and search AKC Fit Dog. Also, the 2018 Western Connecticut Police Canine Challenge will be held this Saturday, October 6th in Newtown, Connecticut. Take a look at it. Wow, well, teams of active duty police and military canine dogs and handlers will compete in suspect apprehension, obstacle course, tactical obedience, the fastest dog, and so much more. Well, it's a great family event with the hay rides, pumpkin decorating, a bagpipes demonstration, cavalry horses meet and greet, and so much more. All proceeds from this event will go to the Friends of the Second Company Governor's Horse Guard Fund. Admission is free and only canine police will be allowed on the grounds. Well, which breed are you? It's time for Good Dog TV to go off-leash to the streets of Manhattan and ask, if you were a dog, what breed would you be?
If you were a dog, what breed would you be?
Oh, golden retriever. Everybody loves them, right?
A boxer.
A shepherd collie. I think they're beautiful. They just have a good presence about them.
Golden retriever.
Why?
Because they get spoiled.
Pit bull.
Maybe a bulldog. A sweet little bulldog. I don't know. But kind of shaped like a bulldog.
A German Shepherd. German Shepherds are very intelligent dogs. They're very good protectors. They're very kind, loving animals.
I would be a golden retriever. Just so graceful, very loyal, and just beautiful animals.
Something flashy. I like something really pretty. And that's a hard one.
Rottweiler, because they're awesome.
I think I'd be a Labrador.
Black Lab, because they're caring and nurturing and trustworthy.
It would be probably the big dog. What is it called again? The big one?
Saint Bernard?
No, that's bigger than Saint Bernard.
The Great Dane?
No, bigger than the Great Dane. I saw one. The Mastiff. I'd be a Mastiff, correct. The Napoleon Mastiff. They look like a horse.
What breed would you be? What would you be?
German Shepherd. Smart. All right, see you later. Thank you.
There are so many different great options of dogs that you could choose to be. I love those answers. Well, I'm Marissa Sarbach. Thank you for joining me today, and thank you to my co-host, Gus, who's been a great co-host. Be sure to download Good Dog TV on Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. You can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well. We leave you with our Good Dog Moment of the Week. Now, there are dogs who heal, and then there are those dogs who clean. Send us your Good Dog Moment to akc.tv/submit. AKC TV, it's Good Dog TV.